Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the next episode in Miles's, who's getting his driver out, winter coaching series. And this series has kindly been sponsored by ShotScope, and we're going to be using Miles's ShotScope data in order to try and improve his handicap, which is currently still 18 because we're filming this at the same time as we filmed the third episode. So hopefully by the time we film episode 5 and 6, you've had a reduction in, there's balls flying over, a reduction in your handicap. So today we're going to look at driver. Now, I said on the very first video, we want to get you a one-way miss. And a lot of people commented saying...
And then there was rage.
And then there was rage going, you can't have a one-way miss, it's impossible. Basically what I'm saying is I want him to have a consistent shot shape, or at least as consistent as possible. But there will be times when your swing turns a little bit silly, you'll block it out right, you'll pull it left, but I want the consistency to be one-way miss.
What's your go-to shot?
Yeah.
Monty paid a fade on every single club for his entire career.
Exactly. So, but every now and then he'll duck hook it. Yeah. So it's not a one-way miss, but it's a one-way, like a shot shape that you can rely on, 90% of the time. Whether it happens, but you just want that confidence. So, like we said when we did the assessment, we got 36% left, 32% straight, 30% that's in the right. So you've got a third each time. So there's no consistent miss. Like ideally we want you to be in the fairway or left rough or fairway or right rough predominantly most of the time, whereas if you look at the shots, we've got 47, 42, 39. They're literally, you haven't got a Scooby where this is going in a nutshell. Strokes gained, let's look at it against a 10 handicap. You're losing 4.5 shots off the tee to a 10 handicap, which is kind of the target we want to be at. One thing you don't have is a shortage of distance. 296 yards longest drive, average 252, and then if we look at the club overall, your driver is 261 as average, so that's not, that's an average yardage for like a low handicap player. That's probably about my average yardage is 261, and you can get it at 296 same as I can. So what we need to be doing is getting you better and more in the fairway stroke, more into one side of the miss. So if you know you're going to fade this, you can aim down the left. If it goes straight, you might get into the left rough, but predominantly you're going to open up the 40-yard fairway and then a little bit. So you're giving yourself a 40-yard miss right. Yes, granted, you've only got a small margin left, but if your predominant miss is right, then you've opened up more of the fairway. So what we're going to do today, we're going to get Miles to hit a few shots with the driver, maybe 6 shots, see what's happening, because he has, it's been 4 or 5 weeks since we started doing this. See if there's any difference in what he's doing. Then we'll give him a few thoughts to think about and see if we can tighten that dispersion a little bit. Right, last lesson, tempo.
Yeah.
Very, very important with the driver as well. Right, so I'm going to dot your club up so I can see what the face is doing. But tempo, like before in the iron, the last video, is massively important as well. I want you to have that 1, 2, 3, go feeling with this club like you did with the irons. There's a few important things with driver, and that is you've got to hit up on the ball. If you hit up on the ball, you get better launch, you get less spin, you get more distance. As soon as you start hitting down on the ball, you get more spin, you get more side spin, and it'll go all over the place. So, just a few thoughts, but the only one you need to think about at the moment is tempo, and then do your normal swing. Right?
Okay.
You take that, and you smash away. Right, so pretty obvious with that, you can see the issue is some drew, some faded, some were thinned. One of the big things is tempo. The ones where you slowed it down were like started straight and were a little bit of a draw. As soon as you sped it up a little bit is when it all kind of went wrong. But one of the big things you're doing, and it's about, this is where tempo helps, is when you speed it up, you get there and the first thing you're doing is that. You're like cocking the wrist and it's coming inside here so quickly that when you're in like parallel position like here, the club's back there. Whereas in actual fact you want it to be about there. So it's the same thought with an iron. It's just a little bit more around the body as opposed to up in the air when it comes to driving. So like everything, I want you to get in the position. So do a practice swing of, so that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and then from there it's a case of rotating and then release it. Alright? Hopefully this should give you a good example of what you should do. So I'm currently playing a fade. Don't know why, but it's just what I am. So I aim down the what we want to try and get you is if it's a draw, it's a draw. If it's a fade, it's a fade. Every now and then there'll be a snap hook or a big block, whatever. We want to try and get you into a place where you can have that shot shape. So for me, I know it's a fade, so I aim down the left side of the fairway and then I just try and fade it into the middle. Bit like that. Because I know that's what I'm doing. I've always been a draw player, but since I've started doing the swing change, suddenly I'm now a fade player.
Yeah.
So I have to play with that. Every now and then, I will literally snap hook the living rubbish out of this, and it will go so far left it's unbelievable. But what that does by starting it on, and I didn't screen record that by the way, but that's straight down the middle. Heads up. What that does with that shot shape is I've drawn that probably 20 yards in the air. I faded that 20 yards in the air, but I've started it at the left side of the fairway. So if that goes straight, it's on the left side of that fairway in the left rough. If it fades like it has, it's smack bang in the middle. And if I slice the living hell out of it, I'm on the right side of the fairway.
The thing for me that's been weird recently is that there's been a driver change in the middle of that. But I went through a summer certainly of draw being a predominant shape. Probably wouldn't be as even as the numbers you showed earlier. And then the last month I've been fading, and I've not, on average, clearly missing a whole bunch both ways. So there's something, obviously I'm doing something in the swing that's not keeping control of the face, because it's putting me in different directions depending on the month, how I'm feeling, whatever, and of course you can't play that.
No. If you've got like a miss that you don't know what's happening, like if I played that straight down the target line, everyone would think I'd slice that.
Yeah.
Because it's gone so far right. But that is just a fade into the centre, because I know I'm playing that. Too many people, and amateurs do it, so like too many people will start straight at the target, like straight down the middle of the fairway. They'll fade it, but it'll fade that, it will go that far into the rough that you think you've sliced it, whereas you haven't. You just faded it, but you've not started on the right line. So it's all about
you're not playing for the miss.
No. So if you know you've got a shot shape, play to it. Don't aim down the middle. Aim down the left. And if I hit that straight, it's on the left rough. But I've given myself like 40 yards to miss it right.
Yeah.
I've not given myself much margin left, but I know it's not going to go left unless I, turn into I get to here in my swing and I just want to hook it, which is there. So it's all about keeping the ball in play, whereas at the minute you're aiming down the middle, no idea where it's going to go, and because of that, it's like the red arrow is doing a split, ready for a display. So what I want you to do is set up like you have done, but instead of coming like this really quickly, I want you to get it to there, and then swing through. But I want you to practice it a few times. So get it to there and rotate the body. And that same feeling, I want you to still feel like we did in the last video. This is coming up quicker. You may hook these really quickly because of the complete change, but I just want you to feel like you're more there than you are there.
Yeah.
Because all that's doing is just opening the face up like that.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay. You can at least point to pop it up and go.
Just in case anyone's doubting me, that blue line I'm about to put on the screen was my drive, okay? Just because I could have talked a good fade then. Right. So, so I want you to be here.
Yeah.
And then I want you to get up to here.
Yeah.
See how the wrist is straight still? I don't want that.
No bowing. Yeah.
But I don't want you to feel like you've got a jog on it either.
Yeah.
Alright, I just want it to be nice and straight. Then there, but you got the trick is I want this arm straight. As soon as that arm starts feeling like it's going to bend, at that point you stop. Because I don't need this.
No John Davies.
Yeah, because he's very good at doing that again.
Yeah.
Whereas we're probably not.
Okay.
So you want to feel like you're hitting me in the proverbial.
Yep. And then to there.
Yeah.
And then down.
And give this foot a little bit of a spray out because I want it to really rotate hard.
Yeah.
And feel like you're going to hook it. See what that face is doing at impact then. One last thing. Move that way. That's better.
Heel.
It's a heel, but it's a fade, and it's done alright. Like I'd take a 250 heel all day. Strike location is in the heel, that's fine.
So have I been too far,
Yeah.
middle of the stance?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want it on the back heel. Where does that feel like it is to you?
That feels like it's on my toe.
But
But it's not.
actually,
if I do that.
yeah, you can see it's on your heel.
Yeah.
Whereas before, you had it probably at about where you
3-wood
went
distance.
5 iron, really.
Didn't turn.
But at least you know.
Toe. Came up the
What
toe.
it is.
That's new experience.
Right. Really want you to feel like you're hooking it,
Yep.
which will help you get that club straight, or the club face straight at impact. Because what it will help you do is rotate
Yeah.
that exit left thing. I want it to feel like you're properly rotating and exiting left. Okay, that looks on that aspect like a slice.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what I was saying with, if you started that out to the left, that's in
Yeah.
the middle. Just slow it down a little bit, you're probably still at a 2-1 tempo.
Okay.
Just really feel like you're getting into these positions.
Interesting. As soon as we straighten this out, that shape has started.
You
That
probably
slice.
will fade it because you're staying a lot more over the top of it. So you
Yeah.
probably will fade it as instead of coming round for that draw. But a fade is more predictable.
Yeah.
Better. And you just draw on a little.
No, I'm just drawing it.
Yeah,
I
but,
just said
but I
that.
want you to have that feel. And do you know what? That's gone 260.
That's what I want. That's the shape that when I'm playing well,
Yeah.
I tend to get. If I'm fading, I tend to get a little bit tight and I tend to start pushing.
Right. Shot location, smack bang in the middle. Absolute smack bang in the middle. Club path 1.4 degrees into out. Face to path 0.7. That's like as neutral as you're going to
Yeah.
get. And it's a lovely draw. If you started that out to the right, I mean that's
Yeah.
still on the fairway. It's just on the left side of the fairway. But that's fine.
And that will have been because I rotated properly. Won't it?
But you've got to. That's got to be your every shot, and every now and then the fade is in.
Yeah.
Not fade last shot, draw this shot.
Yeah.
Remember that tempo, 3-1. And
That was
then-
much slower as well.
And
that
then
one.
rotate through the ball. Better. You can just hear how much better it is.
A little bit fadey there.
But that's the issue is you've
Yeah.
got a draw and a fade. There's no, but that's because it's out the heel.
Yeah.
All that is gear
This
effect.
is strike.
It's just gear effect. But the actual tempo of everything is so much better.
But this is where the strike becomes king, right? Because if
Strike
I-
is king. All
Because
day.
if I'm getting that tempo right and the club paths are right, that's
Yeah.
going to be what defines which shape I get. So getting a consistent strike is really important. Which I'm not doing at the
But
moment.
if your like strike location is centre to heel 90 times out of 100, you've got to play that. You can't
Yeah.
play for that 1 in 10. That's gonna draw.
That one I lost the face.
Yeah, but that's just a fade. It's just started right. But the distance is superb. It's actually centre as well. So now, me personally at this stage, where's the tee gone? There.
It went all the way back that way.
I think that you're more a fade player than you are a draw player.
Yeah.
The draw's in there, but if we're going to want to hit more fairways and get you into play more, play that fade.
And it's noticeable as I keep that arm going back
Yeah.
straighter and get that, then I'm tending. I mean, okay, God, hard to draw conclusions from that array of shots, but there were more that had that shape than the other.
Yeah.
And the heel's my problem. We
so
saw
there's
it on the
one
irons.
draw and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fades.
Yeah, 1 straight, 1 draw, and 6 fades.
So you've got to play the fade. But this is where practice, you know, when they say, and you go on the range beforehand, play the shot shape you've got that day.
Yeah.
Like, I will always play that fade if I've not warmed up. If I drive the first one, it's a draw, and then I drive the second one, it's a draw, you can bet your life I'm playing the third hole in a draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where you go and practice first. So right, I'm going to load up a hole with a fairway. Right, so I've loaded up a hole that is going to need a fade. So what I want you to do is I want you to aim, and I'll put this up on the screen, down the left side of this fairway, because if you aim straight, you're on the right side of it, and you're going to out of room. So I want you to aim down the left of this fairway, and I want you to fade it in, and hopefully it should look something like this. Aim down the left, fade it in. Oh, victory. Shocker. But you get the idea. Shocker, Lee hits a tree. But you can see how the fade is what you want on this hole. I love it. Of all the things to hit, I've got to hit a tree. But you see that fade, if that tree wasn't there, it would have gone in the fairway, so it's the tree's fault, not mine. But so I want you to start it left, and I want you to, so you put it in, aim left of where we've set the target line up, and I want you to play for that fade.
Yep.
But I want you to properly aim left now, because if you look at this hole, you've got so much room to the right, and there's actually a bit of help to the left.
Yeah.
So if you do hit it straight, you're still going to be in line with that pin.
What's the face?
And he hooks it, he draws it.
I don't know how much to do that. I really didn't feel like it came out that way. I think it came out the toe.
Great strike. There's the fade. Fairway ball.
Low, but not a perfect strike. But
Not a great strike, but it's got you in the fairway because you played for the shot shape.
Yeah.
That you're going to do 9 times out of 10. You know, if you hit it out the toe and it hooks, you can't really do a lot about it. It's happened.
And that's exactly what we talked about. If you look at that, that's a Healy strike. Not hit well, but it's carried to 11, rolled out. It's not the end of the world.
Exactly. But it's that shot shape of that fade, and if you'd have hit that better, it would have just launched a bit higher and faded down the corner.
Try one more.
Remember, I want you in those positions of feeling like, because if you forget, you can really get inside really quickly. So when you do a practice swing, and this is where pre-shot routines come into it. So if I show you my practice swing, right, so pre-shot routine, I will always do it. So I'll come behind the ball, and I'll always have a feeling of what I want the club to do. I'll line it up correctly, make sure I'm happy with my line. And what this does is it makes you try and picture the shot shape you want. So I'm going to picture a fade going around that corner. I'll get into my position, and just before I hit, I'll just make sure I'm doing that. And then get yourself comfortable. And hit that fade around the corner. Is that going to hit that tree again?
Clearly.
No, hit the tree. Who put these trees there? But you'll see, I've done that, it started off a little bit too straight, but that's what happens unfortunately in golf. But I'm not massively out of play. I've given the shot shape I want, I've just started it straight on line.
Yeah.
It happens. A little bit open face with that one, I think. Yeah, so at the heel, face to pass a little bit open, and the heel will exaggerate that with gear effect. Sounded good. It's a great shot. It's a tree. Yeah, absolutely A1 position. So that's your shot shape.
Still Healy, but that's the thing, we're playing for it.
Yeah, that's what you're doing 9 times out of 10, so you can't not play for it. As your swing improves and as we progress a little bit further, if your strike moves into the centre, then we may have to change target line. But I think the way you are at the minute, you're a fade player, play for the fade, and if you toe it,
Well, even the one there where because I am in the heel, if I stray that way, I'm not straying a million miles.
No.
So that one that went a bit left, okay, it turned over, but even on this hole, which goes heavily right, it's still in play, you still got a shot.
And all you got to do is, depending if it's straight down the fairway, you just aim yourself further to the left and play for that fade, like I would have done. Yeah, so that's predominantly what you need to do is, you've got that fade, play for it, but keep practicing, get yourself in that position, and tempo is massive for you. It was with the last lesson, it is with this. Go away and practice them two things, like we've lesson 3 and lesson 4, and then when you come back, hopefully we should see a bit of an improvement, especially on your dispersion.
Well, it was noticeable when we did the Waves Matrix. You know, I had a couple of rounds where it was showing the potential, but I was thinning a few, and then I got a couple of hours in of practice over a week, and then the next one was the foursomes 9 and 7 match where short, 100 yards in, basically won that whole match. So it just needs the time, doesn't it? What
I want to see is your stats on shot scope for driver moving a bit away from the left, so there might be 20% left, but there's 80% centre and right. So we're not doing third, we're doing.
And it's just playing for that tendency. Play for that tendency. If I'm going to gear it, because I've got a bit in the heel. Then
every now and then the massive slice will come out. Every now and then the duck hook will come out because you'll catch out the toe. It's golf. You know, you're an 18 handicap. I do it, as I've proven. I've hit a tree twice. I've had 2 drives. You know, I mean, like this is golf, unfortunately. But I know my tendency is a fade, so I'll play for it. If I start it a little bit too straight, like I did with the second one, I'm missing right.
Yeah.
But I've played for that miss. And so I'm trying to aim down the left, knowing I'm going to take it completely out of the picture. And if I do happen to hit one straight or hit one out the toe, no fault. I play the shot.
Yeah.
But 80% of the time, I will be in the fairway or in the right rough. Very rarely will I now be in the left-hand side rough. All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so while I was moving the camera around, Miles decided he was just going to hit a 290-yard fade in the centre of the fairway. But I'm glad he did, because it kind of proves my point. For Miles, he wants to play a draw, don't we all? But your natural swing path is making you hit a fade, so play for it. Aim down the left side of the fairway and bring it in. And something for Miles to take away, like in the last one, is tempo. We can get very quick, and when he gets quick, that's when the ball can scatter all over the face. He's predominantly heel to centre, so play for that. Take that tempo into play. Try and get yourself in a better position. Have a shot procedure in place. I can't remember the word, but a procedure in place. Pre-shot routine. Perfect. That's what I was thinking. And picture the shot. I'm going to fade this. That start line there, fade off it. Right, perfect. That's my start line. And just trust the swing. Don't think because you're aiming left, you need to be doing all this. Just do a natural swing through the ball, and your natural shot shape will bring it into the centre of the fairway. That's stuff for Miles to take away. Hopefully when he comes back, we'll be able to upload his shot scope data, and hopefully it's all moved a little bit further to the centre and to the right and away from the left. And that will kind of then give Miles the confidence that he can pretty much take the left side out of play, unless he hits a bad shot, and then it's his own fault because he's played a bad shot. You know, it is what it is. Anyway, I hope you've liked that video, and if you are, please hit that like button down below. If you are new and aren't yet subscribed, please do subscribe to this channel. Hopefully we can get somewhere near 10,000 pretty soon. But for the time being, Miles is going to go and take away all those things he's learned over the last couple of hours. And we'll see him next month, and you'll see me in the next video. See you later.